At peak fertility, when they're 18 to 23 and they're ovulating, women are attracted to superior men. And this is because of hypergamy. And these are the men who are the absolute top of the dating market. So they usually have the following qualities. They're in shape, they're tall, like 6 foot plus, they make more than 100,000 US per year, they have 50 more sexual partners, they're significantly older than they are, and they're more educated than they are. Women are going for the top 5% of men, because all of them they can all share him, and even though he only has the money for like 1 or 2 of these women, it doesn't matter, because the woman can choose to get pregnant or not, but her biological drive is still for that top man. Hello and welcome to the heliosblog. My name is Helios. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time watching, remember to like, comment and subscribe, hitting all for notifications. If you're a regular, thank you so much for your continued support. Remember to watch until the end, you're not going to want to miss this episode. Today, we're going to talk about why women want who they want. So many people don't understand why women choose only the top 5% of men. You will want to listen to all of this, because it's some crazy stuff. So men are always curious why women are so choosy. Why do women choose some men over others? Well, there's many answers to this question, and we're going to explore a few here. But mostly it boils down to biology, right? The concept of sperm being cheap and eggs being expensive. Okay, let's get into it. Who is the choosier of the sexes? The choosier of the sexes, at least for sex, is women. This is intuitively obvious to any man who has lived past puberty. Most women have male attention, but most men do not have female attention. And it's hilarious talking to women about this, because women believe that men, like 80% of men, have lots of female attention, and it's like easy, and it's a land of milk and honey. But all they see is the apex, the men who have attained the absolute highest tier, and who all women want. And because women see 80% of men as less than average, they don't even see these men at all. The average man, the real man, and not the most competitive men. They don't even see them. And so they don't understand that the experience of men is different, right? Okay. But anyway, we're going to get into the biology right now. So, sperm is cheap and eggs are expensive. So the human male produces more than 1 million sperm cells per day. That is not the case for women. Women are born with all the eggs they will ever have at birth. By design, women's eggs are more valuable than sperm. And I mean, basically that concept can describe why men are expendable and women aren't. If a woman dies, the potential for children dies with her. Because in order to repopulate the whole human race, let's say most men died, like half the men died, it wouldn't matter. With half of the current world's men, we could still repopulate the earth, no problem. We could actually repopulate the earth totally if we had the same number of women we have now, but 1 man for every 16 women. That's how much more valuable each woman is compared to a man. 1 woman is 16 times as valuable as a man. Okay, more obvious stuff. Woman's gestation period is 9 months, so she can only have a baby every 9 months. A man can have a kid every day if he wants, if he has access to enough women. So, men are far less valuable than women because of gestation and the risk of pregnancy and so on. Of course, also because of the risk of pregnancy, women need to be because when women are pregnant, they're weak, you know, they're vulnerable, they need to be protected. And so that's why you get men being the protectors and providers and women being the nurturers, the caregivers, etc. And obviously, pregnancy cost for women is much higher than for men. So before the birth control pill, before that, sex was a huge risk for women. They could die. There's a high rate of death for women if they got pregnant. And even if they didn't die, if they weren't taken care of, the world would be extremely harsh if she got pregnant. So women had to choose a provider to have a kid with. Nowadays, with the birth control pill, it isn't like that at all. Women can just sport fuck and there's no problem. So you get the modern world where women are going for the top 5% of men because all of them they can all share him, and even though he only has the money for like 1 or 2 of these women, it doesn't matter because the woman can choose to get pregnant or not, but her biological drive is still for that top man. Okay, so who are women attracted to at peak fertility? At peak fertility, when they're 18 to 23 and they're ovulating, women are attracted to superior men, and this is because of hypergamy. And these are the men who are the absolute top of the dating market. So they usually have the following qualities. They're in shape, they're tall, like 6 foot plus, they make more than 100,000 US per year, they have 50 more sexual partners, they're significantly older than they are, and they're more educated than they are. And the reason they're attracted, like women are attracted to men in this category, is because women are hypergamous. A woman wants a man who's superior to her in every way. Okay. So, who gatekeeps sex and who gatekeeps relationships as a result? So, why are women interested in sex with certain men? It's because those men are genetically superior. Oh, another important fact is that in all of human history, 40% of men have reproduced, not 100. And that's important. So basically, there has been a lot of sharing, so to speak, overall of human history. It means a lot more men are cuckolds than they want to believe. Okay, but anyway, as a result of the sperm-egg dichotomy, we get 2 gatekeepers. Women gatekeep men from what they want, which is sex, and men gatekeep women from what they want, which is relationships. So ideally, a woman wants to get married and have children with a superior man. Some women, though, are unable to attain that superior man for anything other than sex. This is the state of the modern world, okay? And listen for this, because I'm sure you've seen this before. So what ends up happening, what ends up happening is this. Some women, they choose to have children with that top man, and then they seek out a man to save her. So they get the alpha seed, and then they go for a beta for her needs. You see? And this is the so-called dualistic mating strategy of many women. Because they can't get a protector and provider in the same man, they get one man to provide the genes, the good genes, and one man to take care of it. This is basically just cuckolding, but across time instead of in the moment, right? Instead of being married to a man and having kids with another man at the same time, they cuck the man in advance by having a child with a superior man and then refuse to have a child with a new man, basically. Okay. So, if a woman is below average to a superior man, she's unable to get past his bar for relationships. And so she is in his sex zone, which is equivalent to the friend zone for a man. So a man, when a man is in the friend zone, he's basically a girl's boyfriend without getting any sex. When a girl's in the sex zone, she's a man's basically fun toy, but without getting any relationship benefits. So, and this is because superior men vet heavily, for which woman gets the gift of his long-term commitment. So in earlier eras, women who could not attain superior men simply got with men who were still superior to them, but not at the absolute top of the hierarchy. That was before, when there was assortative mating, or you know, kind of one-to-one marriage, where women of a certain status were forced to marry a man of equal level, or, you know, a little bit higher but not at the top. But the world was less connected then, and women knew that superior men were an extremely scarce resource. So that was back then. But nowadays, with social media, the woman's brain is tricked into believing that there are more superior men out there than there really are. And so they keep holding out, hoping they can mate with that man, instead of the men who would actually give them the relationship they want. And so many of these women end up squandering their 20s, going into their 30s, and then they become cat ladies because they can't then capitalize and get a relationship with children anymore. Okay, so the modern world has led to unrealistic standards. Social media has created the unrealistic standards of today. Social media is the reason why average women disdain average men and believe they can do better, because they get flooded with so much attention that they believe they're better than they are. And this is why social media use is a huge red flag if a woman is excessively displaying herself on social media, because it means that she'll never be happy with anything you can provide her, because you can never provide her with the same attention that 1,000 men can. Average women nowadays have no idea that if they carry on this way past their peak, they'll end up dying alone. Women, you've been warned, you can't squander your 20s, go into your 30s, and then have a perfect man, children, relationship, and be saved. You can't do that. You're going to end up miserable. Conclusion. As you can see, women want who they want due to biology and hypergamy. Obviously, not all women can attain an apex man, but social media has made it so the average woman believes there are thousands of available superior men to date when the pool is actually quite shallow. And this will lead to a lot of misery down the line. You mark my words, that's probably one of the big reasons why we're going to end up with so many 30-plus-year-old cat ladies. Because social media and the gynocentric social order has ruined women for the men that they actually should be with, the men on their level. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please remember to do all of the following. Like the video for the algorithm. Comment on the video. I respond to all comments and I'll give you a heart. Subscribe and hit the bell so you can see my content on your feed. Check out all of my content on other platforms. It spreads the reach of the channel. YouTube, bit.ly/heliosyoutube. Rumble, bit.ly/heliosrumble. My blog is realheliosblog.com. My podcast, bit.ly/heliospodcast. My Patreon, patreon.com/theheliosblog. You can also support the show at bit.ly/heliosdonations and buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. Thank you so much for all of your support.